Hi all, my name's Christy. I'm continuing with the series Small Changes, Big Shifts, where I talk about a card a week. Today's card is regulating blood sugar. So this is one of the easiest and most beneficial thing we can do for our health, for performance, for weight loss, for mental clarity. Blood sugar has a huge impact on all of those things. So let's talk about ways that we can help regulate blood sugar. And what I mean by that is allowing your blood sugar to stay at a very constant level. Now, there's always going to be small spikes in blood sugar, but trying to avoid the large spikes in blood sugar is where the big difference in health and weight reduction comes into play. If you can regulate your blood sugar in a very, very small range, it is so much healthier. And not only does it help you lose weight, because when we get those big spikes in blood glucose, that's when our body stores fat. When we can keep our blood glucose regulated in a very small range, then we have sustained energy and we start to burn fat for fuel. And I think that's what most of us want to do. So what does that mean, blood glucose? You can actually measure your blood glucose, and I'm going to do another video on that because that's going to take a few minutes to talk about how do I measure it. But it's the amount of blood sugar that is regulating in our bloodstream. And ideally, you want to keep that low. That's why every year at the doctor, they'll measure your fasting blood glucose levels. Ideally, according to functional medicine doctors, ideally, you want that range to be 70 to 90 for your fasting blood glucose. So if you pull out your labs from last year and your blood glucose is over 90, you probably have room for improvement. Also, if you pull out your labs from the last 10 years and you're noticing every year your fasting blood glucose gets higher and higher and higher, this could signal a big problem. So by being able to regulate our blood glucose or our blood sugar, we can do a lot of different things. So how do I do that? One, obviously, and no one will like this, but avoiding sugar and foods that have sugar. Many of the foods that have sugar are the highly processed foods that come in packages. So just avoiding packaged foods is huge. Also, avoiding complex carbohydrates such as breads, cereals, bagels. I can't really think of anything worse to have for breakfast than a bagel. I'm sorry for those who like bagels. But really, it sets the day because that bagel is going to raise your blood glucose. You're going to get a spike, I guarantee it, with that bagel. And then what happens, we get that spike, our body releases insulin. It brings the blood glucose down by shuttling the glucose into our cells to create fat stores to save for later energy, unless we are out running at the moment, or literally sprinting or running or doing some type of activity. We're not going to be using up all that energy immediately, and so our body stores it. So that happens when our blood glucose spikes. So then insulin's released, it releases or it drops, and now, gosh, I'm hungry again. I get this craving and I gotta have something sweet. So something like a Snickers or just a little something sweet, or I want to get a Coke, or I want to get another cup of coffee, because not only do I get a little bit of that twingy hungry, that craving for something, I'm also getting sleepy where I can feel like I could just lie down here and take a nap. This is also a result, or can be, there are many other reasons why we might get sleepy throughout the day, but one of them is it could be what we're eating is setting off this cascade that makes us sleepy or makes us feel a little bit lethargic and as if we need something to pick us up, such as caffeine, Coke, coffee, or Snickers, or something similar. So sugar, and we're usually going to get those sugar cravings. If you get a sugar craving, it's a good indication that um, you could you could improve your performance by just eliminating sugar. So there's a brief overview. I won't get too deep, but I will say if you can do your best to start the day with vegetables or with protein or with good fats such as avocados, that would be fantastic. And try to do it later in the day, So starting the day with stable blood sugar, that is going to go a huge way to allow you to make better choices for the rest of the day. So there's a lot to be said on this subject, but for this next week, do your best to try to regulate your blood sugar by choosing foods that are low in sugar. Thanks for watching.